Hello everyone, and welcome back to another Movie Nights movie review. I'm Dalton, and today I'm going to be talking to you about Ad Astra, the new science fiction film directed by James Gray and starring Brad Pitt. This film is about Brad Pitt's astronaut, which the movie takes place in a relatively distant future, and his father, Tommy Lee Jones, went on a mission years before him to go to Neptune to find out some mysterious stuff, and Brad Pitt finds out his father could still be alive and he must be sent there in order to retrieve him and whatever information he may or may not have. Anyone who knows me knows I'm a huge science fiction fan. I love space films, I love Brad Pitt, and I also really loved the film The Lost City of C, which this same director directed. So I was really looking forward to this film, especially from the great reviews that came out of the Toronto Film Festival. An overwhelming majority of critics seem to really love this film, but I have to be honest, I didn't. This is probably the biggest disappointment of the year for me, and don't get me wrong, this isn't like a horrible movie or anything like that. I just think it has a lot of problems, and the problems outweigh what's good about it. But first, let's talk about what's good about it. First of all, everything on a technical level. The visual effects, stunning. The direction, beautiful. Cinematography, beautiful. The sound design is actually probably the best sound design I've heard in film all year. Brad Pitt's performance is incredible, and he plays someone who's emotionally closed off, and that's not an easy thing to do, and he does it very well. Another thing is the world that it sort of puts you in. It does a really good job of making a future that's definitely distant, definitely sci-fi, but tangible enough to where even when they do ridiculous things, it feels kind of real. And that's also not an easy thing to do, and they made it look very easy. But unfortunately, that's kind of where the positives end for me. This film script is very messy. It has character choices that don't make any sense. It has moments that are really dragged out and drawn out for really no particular reason other than look at how pretty this movie is, which sometimes can work, but not in this case. Also, the movie kind of puts an emotional wall between you and all of the characters. And I understand doing that through Brad Pitt's character, but you need emotion in the other characters, like just something or someone to latch yourself onto. I hate to compare, but I think this will help drive my point across. First Man, which came out last year, Ryan Gosling's Neil Armstrong also was very emotionally closed off, but you had characters like his wife, the other astronauts, the protesters. You had emotional crutches throughout that movie that you could latch onto and sort of look at that character through other people, but this movie doesn't allow that for anyone. And it was very weird to get emotionally connected. And the film has a very emotional story. It's trying to tell you a story about an estranged father and son, and how this character wants to be more control of his emotions and less sort of robotic and work going. But they don't really do a good job of getting me emotionally invested in the story. At no point did the movie really pull me in. I think this is just one of those cases of a great director directing a mediocre script, which ironically the director co-wrote. Something else that kind of drove me really crazy about the movie is that it has expository narration from Brad Pitt throughout the entire film. Now, narration isn't always a bad thing. There are several examples that prove how narration is used very well. But in this film, it didn't really work. But you could tell that the film was shot to have scenes of narration in it. Literally just scenes of people doing nothing or doing B-roll stuff, and then you hear Brad Pitt's voice. And it's like, so this wasn't added in after the fact. This was definitely made to have narration. And this was the only way you could get us to emotionally connect with Brad Pitt's character, was just by having him narrate throughout the film. I hate when a movie tells me what to feel. Just show me what to feel and see if I feel it. And there are moments and shots that are beautiful in this film where I'm about to feel something, I'm getting reeled in, and suddenly his voice just butts itself into the frame, and it really just kind of takes you right back out of the moment. This film is also very slow-paced, which normally I don't mind if you're enjoying it, but if you're not enjoying it, it can come across as very boring. And I know that there are some of you who will watch the film and find it very boring. Also, this movie does have some action sequences in the film, but they sound a lot cooler than they are. There's an action sequence that is a car chase on the moon. Sounds rad, wasn't executed very well in the film. It looked gorgeous, but that's about it. What I will say though, is you can tell that they really tried to make this film amazing. They tried to make it in a way that told you a really emotionally deep story about a father and a son and so on and so forth, but it just didn't come across that way. It came across as very surface level and pretentious, and I just have to be honest about how I feel, and that's how I felt about the movie. So overall, I'm gonna give Ad Astra a C+. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you haven't done so yet, please subscribe to the Movie Nights YouTube channel, follow us on Facebook at Movie Nights, Instagram, and Twitter at Nights_movie, and be on the lookout for more video reviews and podcasts. Thanks, and we hope to see you soon.